You visited different places, including the high-tech centers. Innovation goes hand in hand with high-tech centers, and I guess maybe you guys witnessed some of the innovation achievements. And then, what do you think of these innovation achievements and environments for, creating innovation at these institutions?
Absolutely. We visited the Nanjing Agricultural University and we were able to see some of the projects that they were working on and their museum of like the university's history. And one thing that stood out to me was the like agricultural technology that they were working on was super innovative and I hadn't seen anything like it before. I'm also interested in the environment. If I wasn't going to be a biomedical engineer, I would have been an environmental engineer. So all this, the agricultural university was extremely wonderful to visit, and I was excited to see some of the innovative solutions that they had in terms of farming and how best to grow in a greenhouse and stuff like that. That was very interesting.
Mm-hmm. And then, as an American college student, is there any area where you think institutions like this from the two sides, from the two countries, can enhance cooperation?
Absolutely. So, as an American college student, like you said, there are many, many ways for students like me to interact with China and Chinese students to interact with me. For example, on my week-long trip, I was able to make so many new friends. We had a group from Nanjing Normal University come and join us on our trip, and in there were a few particular students that I was able to get close with, and I got their WeChat information, and we've been texting back and forth, even though I'm now back in the States and they're still in China. So just being able to go to China and meet these students was a great experience for me, and I feel like there are so many opportunities for people to go to China and meet people there and then bring those connections back into the States and going forward further those connections.
Since you guys spent several days here in China, I was wondering, are there any changes in your perception of China after this visit?
Absolutely. One thing that I came into China thinking was that there weren't too many big cities. I mainly was thinking of Beijing and Shanghai, but as I grew to experience China, we started in Kunshan and moved to Suzhou, into Wuxi, to Nanjing, to Shanghai. And each of those cities had their own history and their own architecture, their own culture. And it was very interesting to see that some of these cities that I hadn't really heard of before, they were all super interesting and they all had their own personality. So as I came back into the States, my perspective is now that there's so much history and culture in China, and I would love to come back and experience more of it and maybe visit another province other than Jiangsu.
Definitely, each province, each city is unique in its own way, but at the same time, different parts of China could be linked, such as through canals. I don't know whether you guys have heard of this, like 京杭大运河, or the Great Canal running from Beijing, the capital city, to Hangzhou, which is in the south of China, Zhejiang province. And I think it passes provinces including Jiangsu Province. So there might be some like museums or scenic spots dedicated to this canal. What else would you like to say to our audience after this visit about China?
China was such a wonderful place to visit. I loved my time there, and I'm definitely going to try and come back. I'm going to start taking Mandarin classes at Duke. But then for the audience that's not in China, I would highly recommend going to check out China and experience it, even if it's for just a week. I was only there for a week, but I forged so many connections and I was able to learn so much. And for the Chinese audience, I welcome you all to America to experience something like I did, where I went to China. I welcome you to America and experience our culture. And just by doing both those things in tandem, we'll be able to further China-US relations going forward.
This is CGTN Radio. Hear the difference.